Hello!
Hi, everyone.
Yay! So, this is officially week 2. It is just yesterday that I pushed the button on week 1 to let it spread all over the world, and it was sort of terrifying.
I can't imagine.
It was not to the audio quality that I wanted. I signed up for a whole bunch of free do's and don'ts for podcast, and one of the things was to listen with headphones, and that was not so cool. But the recording was what it is, and each and every day we just fine tune and adjust until we reach perfection, and that's just the way life rolls.
Rose thinks we're going to reach perfection with this. This is the bright side of crazy. I'm not going for perfection. I'm going for real.
Yes. But there were so many things in my mind, like, oh my God, now people might hear what the craziness in my brain really is. Oh my God.
I think we're only going to give them just a little hint.
Oh, it's scary in there. That's another thing. I so overanalyzed my constant laughing. And then I thought, why do I laugh so much?
Because Barbara's funny.
Barbara is funny. And then I'm like, why don't other people laugh this much? Maybe it's really the other people who are the problem. So how about everybody else laugh just as much as I do, and then things will be great.
I think that's a great idea. I think part of your laughter is a little nervous laugh.
For sure.
But the more we do this, the less nervous we'll be.
Yes. So there was someone at the center that I used to go to, and he would laugh a ridiculous amount of time. During one of my meditations, the first time he was in there, he laughed in the middle of the meditation, and it just totally freaked me out. And then I was like, whoa, what was that? And then I had to remember, I am not meditating for him. It's everyone else in the room. So I had to get back in it and not worry about this one guy. And then I realized he just laughs a lot. And then it became a game every time I did the meditation. I've got to make him laugh. And it was so fun. I love it. And I loved him still to this day. But everybody just needs to laugh. What a great release.
And I think we are doing a service. Well, hopefully we're doing a service.
I hope so too.
Hopefully we can make some people laugh.
Yes.
It's okay. You can laugh at us, or at least me. It doesn't bother me at all.
I love being laughed at.
I clearly do too.
So, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. It was a little hard catching up after our adventures our week away. So it took a long time to get dug out from under all the work at our job. But starting to unearth, and it's no fun this week, but it was an okay week.
Yeah. So I am super introverted, and for me, whenever I have outside stimulus like that, I need to shut down into silence and sort of cocoon, and I did not have much of that opportunity. So I hope that this next week will bring some of that.
Well, my life very, very rarely has solitude. Even though I do live alone. There are lots of visitors. A few visitors, but often. So very, very rarely do I have solitude. But I wouldn't trade the grandbaby time for anything.
Yeah. My grandbaby is coming this weekend. So that will be so much fun. And then the weekend after that is his birthday. So that will be fun too. 2 weekends with the baby.
Yeah. We went to the zoo this weekend, which I've done several times this year with my oldest granddaughter, but got to take both of them at the same time. That was funnish.
Ish.
The oldest one was had very definite ideas of what animals she wanted to see and in what order she wanted to see them. But the zoo is set up in such a way that you cannot get there from here very quickly. You still have to go through other animals. And she didn't want to see the other animals on the way to get back to the elephants. She wanted the elephants. So we had a little bit of a breakdown near the polar bears. And it was actually pretty funny because we're walking up and she literally screams. But it's at the zoo, it's wide open, and she says, I'm not going. And so I said, okay, well, we'll pick you up on our way back. And I just kept walking. Of course, I was not going to leave her, but there was an older couple that looked at me quite horrified that I was walking away from this toddler. But then we get down there. The polar bears were not out, but there's a viewing tunnel under the water where you can go under and see them if they are there. So we went down just in case we just couldn't see where they were. Well, we get down there, sure enough, no polar bears. I mean, it was 80 some degrees, but she was thrilled by the tunnel itself. So we had to take 2 trips to this tunnel to see nothing. And then I'm trying to, okay, we can go see the elephants now. And, we discovered another playground. Gosh darn it. They sprinkle those things everywhere through the zoo just to slow you down. And then, so we finally get to the elephants and she goes, okay, we can go home now. And we were out the door right after the elephants. Well, we had to stop and play with the water again at the fountain. But, yep, that was it. So meltdown to see elephants. Going through a tunnel that you didn't even want to go in, but that became the best part of the day. And then we had to skip the giraffes. So I still have not seen the giraffes in 3 trips to the zoo because we were going the other way to see the elephants. I could not convince her that we could get to the elephants by the giraffes. So.
Nice.
Yes. The oldest princess won.
Oldest princess won. It is quite a zoo.
Yes.
Very, very far and spread out.
Very much so. 3.5 miles that day, and we were only there 2.5 hours, I think, 3 hours maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer.
So,
the youngest one needed to take a nap, so.
Yeah. You know where I'm going to be at the zoo. With the goats.
We bypassed the goats. We did not see the goats this time.
Yeah.
Next time, if we go anywhere near the goats, we are going to have to take the train. Because we didn't do the train this time either.
Maybe that would have been a faster route to the elephants.
Well, that just loops you back around and you get on and off the station at the same spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
it doesn't
true.
go near the elephants.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But that's okay. So we had a good week.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was the bright part of my week.
Sweet. Yeah, for me, it was just do this, laundry, meltdown at AT&T, go get a new cell phone with T-Mobile, and then I had to call the cable company to come and get AT&T out and do that. So it was just unneeded. No, it was needed because I was so tired of paying AT&T good money for horrible service.
Right?
So
we had them for cell phones many years ago, and I don't remember why we had such a bad experience exactly, but I decided that I'm not going to go back.
Yeah.
So we will just go elsewhere if and when needed.
So just for the record, AT&T will never be a sponsor for Bright Side of Crazy. I will not take their money. I will shove it back at them. No.
But if they want to try to bribe Barbara with cookies, I'll eat them and then let Rose tell them no.
Cookies for everyone. So what drives you crazy this week, Barbara? What makes you freaking nuts?
This week, I think it is just, I'm being irritated, driven crazy by people that just have no regard for other people. If you walk out the door, hold the door. It doesn't take but a second. If I let you over in traffic, give me a wave. Or not give me the finger. for being nice to you. There's just a lot of unneeded negativity in the world, or just people are just self-centered right now.
Out for your selfness.
I'm sure not our listeners, but there's a lot of people out there, yeah, just out for themselves, and just no regard for the folks around you. And I think there's a lot of, it takes more effort, or just as much effort, to be a jerk as it does to be a good human being. So
yeah.
Be nice.
So I was at the grocery store the other day, and so like this whole 6-foot thing now, 6-foot distance, is kind of not a thing anymore. And I get, maybe if you're wearing a mask, maybe you don't need to. That's not what it said on Good Morning America this morning, but it always changes. So I totally get it. Like, nobody knows what we're supposed to do other than don't lick each other, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't get that mandate.
But when you are on your phone walking through the grocery store and walk into another person, like, that's probably not okay. And that's
Right.
like, that's what happened to me. And it wasn't like once or twice, like it was several. It was sort of like bumper cars. And I'm like, what?
The same person?
No, different
okay.
people. I was in Athens. Like, I've never been to Athens before. Athens Walmart. I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a Bizarro town, like in Spider-Man. I don't know. Or Superman. Sorry. Superman has Bizarro World. Maybe that's what Athens is like. I've never been there before. But yeah, so people in Athens, Ohio would rather be on their devices and not looking at people and bump into you. And I don't know, like, how many times have you coughed into your arm today, and now that juice is on my person? Like, I don't know. I don't want it.
I honestly have never thought about that, because, now instead of shaking hands, we're supposed to do that weird elbow bump thing.
Yeah.
And they're telling us to cough into our elbow. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
We're no longer covering our mouth with our hand and shaking hands. We're now coughing into our elbow and bumping elbows. So we're still just rubbing the coffee parts.
Yes.
I never even thought about that.
So
Things that make you go,
Yeah. And again, I'm trying not to be like hyper vigilant about it. Like, I'm just trying to be smart about it and not lick anybody, or like, I don't hug as much as I used to. It's very few and far between in people that I know well. I'll hug my grandbaby for sure. Like,
absolutely,
it's going to happen. So, but other than that, I keep my distance. I respect people. I'm not on my device while I'm walking through the store. I'm looking and paying attention. Can we get our nose out of the phone and pay attention to all of the things that are around us?
Not to mention paying attention. If you're wearing a mask and on your phone, you're now yelling in the store. So you're probably being disruptive on top of just not paying attention.
Now, these people weren't talking on their phone. Like they were Facebooking and Instagram and just not even paying attention. Like,
what's the point?
Well, I don't know how you can shop like that. Like, why are you in the store? Like, don't you have to, like, be there for a reason and look with your eyeballs and pick up? And, like,
I would think so. Maybe they were on a recipe site looking for ingredients. Maybe. You never know. Judgy McJudgerson.
I know. It's irritating. Just pay attention. Make a grocery list. Pen and paper. Old school.
We know about old school. Don't you know?
Yeah.
People are very much on their devices now, though.
They are.
But I have to admit, when I'm at the grocery store and, of course, the coupons are now digital and you have to put them on the app. So there's times I'm opening that app to make sure, do I have that coupon or whatever. And when you're in the store, at least with my phone is kind of old. It is just a little step above having a cord. And it is a smartphone. But when I'm in the stores, I don't have a good connection. I don't have good signal. So I don't know if it's just my phone or that I'm so deep in the store, but there's times I have to stand there for like 3 minutes waiting for it to load so that I can make sure that I have that 55 cents off of, my laundry detergent or whatever. So maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. Park your ass over in an
No.
area.
I do that. I do not wander. Like, I continue to do things and just hold it while it's waiting for it to load.
Yeah.
But I am the exception.
You are. You are very exceptional.
I am exceptional.
I just feel like things would be better if people could think about what the other person might be doing or what their experience might be and pay attention a little bit more. Common courtesy, niceness.
Common courtesy is not so common. Kind of like sense. Common sense is not so common anymore either. But maybe those kind of go hand in hand. Elbow and elbow.
I feel like we're talking like our parents. Back in my day, we used to blah, blah, blah.
When I went to the Walmart, uphill both ways in the snow. Very true.
I just feel like the more and more people are not talking to each other person to person and they're in their phones, they're not paying attention to the other person's humanness. And so it just kind of like...
And I think maybe because the profession we're in our 9-to-5 jobs, has us in contact with people either on the phone or face to face still all the time, where we haven't lost that connection, where during the pandemic, you're working from home, you're talking to people via Zoom, you're not going into an office, you see somebody once a week kind of thing. I think maybe they've just forgotten, where we've not been given the opportunity to forget.
Man, I gotta tell you, the month that I was working from home, that was pretty awesome. I gotta tell you. To wake up 5 minutes before I needed to clock in, drag myself down to my couch to clock in, listen to the phone calls, and turn on the TV and snuggle with my dog for most of the day. That was so great.
I was only at home for 2 weeks and I was ready to get back to work. I'm not meant to work from home.
Oh, that was the life, man. I tried to drag that out as long as possible. I played the fear card.
Well, in the beginning of the pandemic, I was the fear card, so I was used as an excuse for other folks not to come to work. Not Rose, of course. But so I think that's partially why I was ready to come back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because stop using me as an excuse. Did not have the COVID, never had the COVID. I'm at work, you should be too. No Rona here.
No Rona. Keep the Rona away.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting how everything changes and we don't know. And the things that we try and do. And once all this is figured out, like I think history, looking back on history now, for many things, we're like, well, why did that happen? Didn't people know about this, this, and this? And it's really easy to be like Monday morning quarterback. So I feel like next year, everybody is going to have their own opinions. Like, well, if so-and-so would have done it this way, or so-and-so would have done it that way. Like, yeah, well, we didn't have that information, or that information was given sort of sideways and not trustable for many reasons.
Right.
And it gets messy.
Well, and the fact that now that everything we're doing is politicized, people are making medical decisions for themselves based on and their families, based on who they're voting for, which makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
At least to me, makes no sense.
Right. It is crazy.
Wash your hands, cough in your elbow.
Don't touch elbows.
Don't touch elbows. Don't lick people unless you guys are quarantining together. And wear a mask where it's required.
Yeah. What else?
Not a big deal. Just do it.
Don't bump into people at the grocery store or Walmart or whatever.
But I'd be willing to bet, like, if you body checked one of them straight into a shelf of canned goods, the next one probably wouldn't do it. Just a thought.
Just a thought. I will keep that in the back of my mind.
Barbara might be a hockey chick.
Perhaps. So how's the online dating going? Who are you licking?
Well, I've not licked anyone and no one has licked me. Wow, I can't even believe that was said out loud. It is, as I think I told you, it's a very, what I think is a small dating site. It's one that very few people I've talked to have heard of, which is kind of what I was going for because I didn't want my residents or neighbors popping up on there. But I have not gotten matches in several days, and there are several people that have liked my profile, and I have the opportunity to communicate with them. But the people that are liking my profile could be my children. I'm getting a lot of, I think 29 was the youngest, which is the age of my oldest child. So, ew. And, but quite a few 30, people in their 30s and lower 30s, 31, 34. And I'm sorry, that's just weird. I'm in my later 40s and I've never dated anyone younger, not even a little bit. And to think of someone, 13 years younger than me, hitting me up is just weirding me out. So needless to say, I have not liked any of them back. I've not communicated with any of them. I even caught myself looking at one of the gentlemen and I'm like, well, he looks professional. He looks like he would be very nice. And, based on his, the type of work he did, I'm like, he's probably a really good human being. And then I realized, what are you even doing thinking about this, Barbara? He is 13 years younger than you, and just no. So, but then I feel like, I would want to know, why someone isn't interested in me, I guess, because I'm new and I still kind of care about that stuff. So part of me wanted to go ahead and like him back so we could communicate, just so I could tell him, look, you look like a really nice guy, but, I don't want to raise someone else. But I don't think that's really cool either. So I just didn't do anything. So yeah, that's the thing, right? Evidently, I don't know if they think I look like I have money or look like maybe I don't live at home, so they want to get out of their mom's basement. I don't know, but it's kind of weirding me out. I've definitely found a couple fakes on there, or what I think is fake. I did like one today, because even though I think he's fake, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go into this with with my eyes wide open, and if nothing else, I'll learn, some of the game, quote unquote, that is played, and maybe I'll be a little smarter coming out of it. Who knows if he'll even like me back, but yeah, so that's what's going on right now. A whole bunch of nothing.
I see.
Yeah.
So I am on the Facebook dating. And again, we talked about this last time. Everybody is like mostly known. Like I have a whole set of ridiculous rules. And so when we have a mutual like, I will never contact them first. Sometimes I will like first and then they'll like me back, but I will not message first. And sometimes they don't message either. Like I've had some sitting in there for like 6 months and we're both matches and we don't talk to each other.
Now the site I'm on, you have 8 days and then they disappear. Or they become inactive. So I had one that we had mutually liked each other, but he also, I think, is fake. And I am not going to be the first one to communicate either. So that one just fell off too. I have, there's another one sitting in there, but nope, not it. It's not the way this goes.
Yeah, I don't know the protocol or what you called it a game for fake people.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I guess etiquette maybe is the word of who should respond first. Is it the person who liked first? Or is it the person who then you got the match with and it made a little clicky noise or whatever it does when you match? So I don't know the protocol. What I do know is I don't know what the hell to say. Like, I have not dated anyone in 30 years. Like, I don't even know. I don't know what to do.
Well, anyone I had ever dated, and I guess there's not been very many, but they've all been people I met in person. So the whole idea of online dating was completely foreign to me. And because I'm like, surely, well, I'll just meet someone out and about. Well, now that we've been locked down for 6 months, there is no out and about other than the grocery store in masks. So, like, hey, you got nice eyeballs. You know, um, a lot of times you judge by their smile or, the way you communicate, and that's been masked literally. Um, but I know that I had always in the past been more of I don't know if aggressor is the right word. It's probably the perfect word, but I'm not doing that this time. I'm going to be a little bit more, I guess you have to come to me. If I've always put it out there and here I am single, so I'm trying something different. Whether it works or not, I'm trying something a little bit different. So the one gentleman that I am communicating with, I think it's been a week now. We've made zero progress. And so I pretty much am just, I will not see you until you suggest that we see each other, I guess is how I'm playing that. I'm not asking, not offering. It's there. I mean, I would be willing to do so, but I think I'm going to be a little cautious.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this thing is so much different now. I felt it was different even before the pandemic, but now like the choices to even go to a place are far more limited now.
Right.
Even so, what do you do after you match? You're like, okay, now what? Like, you can't go see a movie together. Restaurants, sometimes you have to get reservations, and that's really limited too. And like, yeah, it's a different world for sure.
And especially since you wouldn't know this person, you would still want to maintain your distance. So I pretty much decided it needs to be, hey, let's either meet at a park, take a walk, or let's go out to dinner on a patio, is pretty much what I think it needs to be, at least initially.
Yeah.
Unless you show up with your negative test results.
Some people are doing Zoom or Skype calls to get to know each other, which is nice because you get to see their smile and you get to, see their, I guess, body language.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really good too. But not everybody is so techie. I mean, not everybody has a Zoom account. Skype is free. I guess Zoom is free to some, but it's slowed down for the freer ones. So,
and then if you have, of course, an Apple product, you could do a FaceTime or something like that. So, but here we are. I think we're a week later and we've had one phone call. And it was very surface stuff. Mm-hmm. Nothing, we didn't delve into anything. So, yeah, I don't know. But I'm playing it real loose. I'm expecting nothing, or I'm hoping, I don't know. I'm expecting nothing, hoping for something, but expecting nothing. And we'll see if I get what I expect or get what I want.
I wonder if there's a rule book for online dating that we don't know about.
If there was a rule book, I'm pretty sure I would just figure out, that would tell me what I'm not going to do. I have a problem with following instructions and rules a little bit.
You do, maybe. Okay.
So it would, you say you're not supposed to do this, I'm going to show you it's going to work. And then when it doesn't, for some reason I'm surprised. Surely I'm the exception.
You are exceptional.
So, I'm still hoping for, the real life connection out there somewhere. That's how I'd prefer to do it. I feel like there is someone out there. They will, the other someones I've found, I have not really been looking for. I don't think I had been looking for. And they just happened upon me, and there he is. The penis of my dreams.
And here you are with no penis.
No live penis.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm doing my best to keep Energizer in business. Keep going and going and going. So, I'm just open. We'll see.
We'll see.
I was hoping at least for some more, comic content out of it, if nothing else, and it's been pretty dry.
I think we need to sign you up for Facebook dating. So we will film that, and we will do a YouTube video.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Well, now here is a question I have for you. Maybe you know a little bit better, and although you don't really know the rules, or you said, when you do communicate, how many people are you supposed to communicate with at the same time? If I had the option of more than one, should I communicate with more than one?
Yes, because many are going to be flakes.
True. Do you tell them you're talking to other people?
I think it's kind of expected.
Okay.
So not like I've gotten a whole lot. When I first did it maybe 3 years ago and was actually trying, there would be like 5 or 6 I would be chatting with, not over the phone, but in an app.
Gotcha.
And the ones that would take days to respond or give 1-word answers, like that want me to do all the heavy lifting of this conversation, I would just stop chatting with. Gotcha. But then someone else would come in. And I think in that time, I think I went out in 3 dates. All of them were 1 dates. There was never a repeat date. It was no.
Well, 2 years ago, I think it was, I'm in a Facebook group for single people that have a common interest. And through that group, I had started chatting with a gentleman in there, and he lived in another state. So I didn't have to worry about running into him anywhere. And he and I had great conversations. We got to know each other. It was all very light, airy, not deep stuff. But I could tell he was a really good person. I enjoyed our conversations. The group had to do with the music we liked. So, we already had common stuff there. So we talked for a really long, for a couple weeks, and we planned on meeting at this event that was coming up. Well, he had gotten back with his ex-girlfriend and told me as much, which I totally appreciated. But then I got kind of sad because he told me, we still thought this event was going to happen, which it was canceled. But, if you see us together, I'm still going to try to talk to you, but we're going to have to tell her that, I know you from somewhere else, which just kind of weirded me out because, we didn't do anything. There wasn't even any risque talk or anything. You can read all of our messages. Nothing was more than maybe PG-13, if that. So it just kind of made me sad that even though I meet an individual that I like, even if it's not romantic, why can you not have that friendship beyond it? So, and I can actually pick up the phone right now, and anyone, all but one of my exes, I can get on the horn right now and have talked to all of them probably within the last month. That's just how it is. I get into a relationship with someone that I care about and I like them, and then I do my best to keep them as friends because I liked you for a reason to begin with. So it weirds me out when, I'm back with my ex-girlfriend, I can't talk to you anymore.
Well, maybe the ex-girlfriend is sensitive to that. So maybe that's the case.
I get that. But yeah, when I was already, I like you as a friend. We're in the same group because we have common interests. And now even if we run into each other in these events that happen several times a year, I have to make some story up
Yeah, I'm not
for,
going to lie for
yeah.
anybody.
Well, no, I'm not
Yeah.
going to either.
Mm-mm.
But it was very odd.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how to, this is all just new territory for me. So
Yeah.
that one was very, like I said, that one was very organic. It happened easily. And that's how all my relationships have happened. Of course, I am single, so maybe that's not the best bet, but it just felt right. And so being online feels very foreign.
Mm.
I'm still doing it though.
Still doing it.
Still doing it. Winging it. Doing it.
I used to be very extroverted and I never had a problem finding a boyfriend. And even when I had a boyfriend, there was like others kind of like waiting for the breakup. And not that I want that. Like some girls like to be fought over. That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
me. I that's not it. But I really, again, like being by myself now, except when I need somebody to be with as I'm dying to help me. That's a terrible thing. Like, I just need you to help me while I'm dying. That's it.
Well, I'm not sure if we discussed it in our last podcast, but over our trip is when I decided to sign up for the dating site. And it was when we were at dinner and I looked over at that older couple and they were just so cute. And I sat there at lunch just with tears in my eyes because that's what I want. I want that cute little couple. I want to reach over into my husband's glass and get some of his ice cubes because he has too many and I need them. I want someone to, honey, you've got something in your teeth, or here, taste this. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
That is the part that I think I miss the most. And, just having that extra person there. So that was when I went, I'm doing it. We're signing up. I want to stick my finger in somebody's glass and steal their ice.
That's what it's about.
It is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I need to soften up about it. And because I know that with my rigidity, like it's never going to happen because I have this thought in my head that that's going to take away my freedom or my solitude. And what is solitude anyway? Like I don't know. I just get all mangled and tangled in the mind about it. I get crazy about it. I do. I get crazy about it.
I understand that.
So while we were gone, I think just after that, when we were in Battle Creek and we were at that labyrinth and we were walking, the labyrinth was not well cared for, probably because COVID. I'm sure there's probably not many volunteers out there to cut back the path very well. And so the ground of the labyrinth had plants along the edges of the path. And on the places that were supposed to be open, they had grown closed with the two sides coming together. And so you couldn't really walk around the labyrinth. And so as I was standing there, it felt wrong of me to step over this border because it had grown together, even though I know that this is the path and this is where I need to go to get through. But now it's grown together, and it was just a really good reflection of my life. And even this podcast, as I push the button about all of the things that weren't perfect in the first one and releasing it to the wolves of the world to judge and maybe enjoy. That was the farthest thing from my mind. It was more about the judgment that would come from it than the laughter that I want people to get from it. But in that moment, standing there, feeling the wrongness of crossing this border, even though I know that's the path. And I think the fear of pushing that button and the fear of all of those other instances where I went with my gut. I did one thing in that direction and then gave up because it wasn't perfect. And I didn't want to go forward. I didn't want to step over that boundary that had grown closed because I allowed it to grow closed, because I didn't tend to my own weeds in my mind and sort that out and clear my own path. So I had an awakening on that trip as well. And every day I keep thinking about that path and how I need to weed out my mind and clear my path and move forward and not take one step and give up. Because after I pushed that button the other night to release this, it was so hard. The reality of failure and judgment and all of the things that were wrong totally overwhelmed me. And then when I listened to it as it was on, while the audio was not perfect, I laughed through it all and I enjoyed listening to it. And I hope that you do too. If you don't listen to this until 10 years from now and get one laugh, fucking awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So if I could weed out my mind about all of the stuff that I feel men have done to me, first of all, I had to allow them to do that to me.
Agreed.
So, and all men are not like that.
No.
So I have to re-find a balance of what partnership is and not hold my shield up so much and fend off, but be open and a little bit more warm to it.
We learn a lot from each other. Rose and I are very different in a lot of ways. Even physically, she's a blonde, I'm a brunette. But we do have a good balance. I learn from you. I think you learn from me.
For sure.
I learned to be a little more structured and to expect more from other people. And then I think I help you to learn to loosen up a little.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Let me tell you, so we did not used to travel like this. And I would watch her travel. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I went once and I was just they were her friends. So I just kind of hung back. And I still kind of do hang back when she's with her high school friends because I am very different from them. And I don't know the whole history. I don't necessarily feel uncomfortable, but I also don't want to insert myself in a way that could be uncomfortable. And I'm a very different sort of person. So not everybody's cup of tea. And I get that. So I don't want to intrude on a previous relationship. So I just honor the space and let it be. And I'm not so much of a talker in a large group. But because I like my solitude, going to these huge festivals of 20 and 30,000 people, there is no way that I would ever have done that before. Like, I think the last time was maybe in 1999. And that was kind of like, okay, this is done now. I'm never going to do this again. That's a lot of energy and that I don't know what to do with. It's not mine. And, but it's sort of like this whole family and it feels really good actually. But just thinking about that amount of people, I'm like,
Well, and I had grown up going to festival style concerts. Those are my favorite. More hippie, ass in the grass, listen to music kind of person. So if we can get those outdoor festivals where, yeah, there's 30,000 people, but, we're sitting by ourselves in on our blanket. We can see, we have a great vantage point of all the craziness going on around us. But then there are people, we go to these festivals 4 hours from home and we run into people that we know from home. Or we go out of state and to see friends that we only see when we go to these festivals.
Or the leopard pants guy.
We got to get back to Maryland. He has no idea that I have photos of him from 2 years in a row. But now when we go, Rose does enjoy herself much more, and she gives me directives. It is my job to make friends with strangers, which I talk to strangers on a regular anyway. But now Rose, will pick out people that I should go talk to. And I am the type that okay, and off I go. So if we ever meet out in the world and I come up and start talking to you, Rose might have put me up to it.
Probably.
But she has good ideas, and she gets laughs out of what I do. So off we go.
Hysterical.
And most of the time, people talk back.
Yes. Nicely.
Yes, most of the time. And if they don't, then, now you are fodder for my comedy.
Yes.
Because now I'm acting like a crazy person in front of you. Maybe certifiable. Yes. But yeah, they are so much fun.
It is so much fun. And I love how different we are. It's sort of like a teeter-totter that's in balance always. That's kind of not fun. But going up and down is not fun either. But it is a perfect balance of filling in the blanks of each other.
And even the way you and I met, it was like we just knew. Mm-hmm. We met each other at work, and we worked with lots of other people, and there's only one other person that I think we worked with then that I even communicate with a little bit, and that's just because she comments on our Facebook posts. Yeah. Hi, Sue, if you're listening.
Hi, Sue. Miss you. She was always very nice, though. She wasn't one of the...
Nope. Nope. But, you and I just knew right away that we were kindred spirits, and here we are, 15 years later?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Working together again.
Yep. Like it was meant to be.
Yep.
Starting a whole new podcast. Could you imagine, first of all, there probably were no podcasts back then. Could you imagine us back then even thinking about, let's say, doing a radio show? Like, what?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. Would not have thought about that even for a second.
Mm-mm. How times have changed. We were both married to people. I don't want to say what I want to say. They were male, but they were people, to be nice. You're probably nicer than I am.
My marriage, we just grew apart. We were young and grew apart, and so he's still doing the same old thing. I am doing different.
Yeah.
So
we grew apart too, and the divorce was amicable. It was the aftermath that was totally my fault, because he didn't have any place to be, and I let him move in with me, and then it was like having a 12-year-old in my house.
Right.
It was just stupid. So that was my fault, because I wanted to help and be nice. Whatever. So, but it's okay.
Yep.
Because he is far, far away, and I never have to talk to him again ever in my life. So it's good.
And now we are single, trying to figure it out.
Trying to figure it out and not make the same mistakes. Because I think a lot of people seek out the same mistake repeatedly.
Yes.
Repeatedly. So that's the good thing about us. We're not down that cycle.
Correct. I'm a much different person than I was, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for the same thing I was looking for 30 years ago.
And intelligent enough to know that.
Yes.
A lot of times people don't see the pattern.
Well, the relationship after that was a completely different individual. But I learned a lot from that relationship. And then the person I tried to date after that, I immediately knew that it was not the right fit for what I need. Mm-hmm. But so just learn and move on. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if we find the right one, and if not, it's comic material for the show.
And maybe if you find the right one, he has a brother.
Did I tell you that the one that I am talking to, that we went to the same school?
Mm.
So we went to the same high school, not at the same time, completely different times. We would not have been there together. But I know someone that I thought was in his class. And so I had said to him, oh, I think so-and-so graduated in that class, but that's the only person I know. And he came back with, no, this person actually graduated in this year with my brother.
So you do have a brother.
So he has a brother. Now his brother would be a little younger. So, yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
I don't even know if this is a good one yet, or if his brother's single. Who knows? But yeah, so there is a brother out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the bright side of things? The bright side is there are some people who did not bump into me that were paying attention, and that was very respectful. I guess that's a bright side.
And also the bright side is after that, you no longer have AT&T.
Yes.
You got that taken care of in that trip.
Yes.
My bright side the bright side I'm looking at right now is just moving forward. Not looking back, not being scared, just doing it.
Yeah, like the labyrinth, stepping over, clearing out the weeds, making that growth.
See,
easily.
Rose, you remove the weeds from your brain. I'm putting it in mine.
Well, that's anti-productive.
Not those kind of weeds.
There are dispensaries in Michigan where you can get whatever you need. So yes.
Did we discuss that
No, we did not.
Maybe next time.
100% legal cookies. See, you got other cookies that we didn't talk about, but that's okay. We'll save that for another day.
There were 2 different kinds of cookies on that trip. And I spent a bunch of money on cookies. That's for sure.
Another bright side is the button did not kill me when I pushed it.
No, it was not like the nuclear button. Nothing exploded. It went up.
And here we are doing it again. And we'll do it again and do it again and do it again.
Until someone tells us you're doing great or quit it.
Yeah.
We'll just keep doing it.
And when people tell me to quit it, I keep doing it anyway.
You're not the boss of me.
So I hope that this show has given you a laugh and made you see something within you and made you sparkle a little bit, maybe tinkle a little bit. I don't know. Gave you something. And email us. So there's 3 emails. You can email us collectively at hello@brightsideofcrazy, or Rose@brightsideofcrazy, or Barbara@brightsideofcrazy. Right now, until Barbara decides to get a new cell phone, all of the emails are going to me anyway. I would like to point out that I got pissed off with AT&T, and within 3 days, I got a new cell phone. Just pointing that out.
I picked a cell phone quite some time ago. The problem is my adult children are on a plan with me, and getting them in the same room to then go discuss, are we switching? What phones do you want? It's kind of ridiculous. Like I said, I walked in the store a long time ago and said, this is what I want. And then, of course, I tried to buy it, and nobody wanted to contact me back. Mm. So, it'll happen.
Her phone dies at like 56%. It won't stay on, so.
Only if I try to access the internet or
or use it. So, she is quite patient in some ways.
I am slow to make change.
Correct.
I think about my decisions long and hard before I do them. And then once it's made, it's made.
Mafia style. So anyway, reach out to us. Send Barbara cookies. whatever you want. We have a Facebook page too. It's called Bright Side of Crazy.
We do.
There's a Twitter. I'll probably set up an Instagram. There's a website with nothing on it right now because I didn't do that yet.
Because we're just doing it.
We're just doing it. And I'm not pressuring myself. It is free-flowing goodness.
It is.
So that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell us all about your thoughts about it. Nicely.
Or if it's not nicely, just include your address.
Right. So until next week, keep sparkling or tinkling, whatever. Bye.
Bye.